Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Wednesday, November 17th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a quick little recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate, and then talking about my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for tonight's slate as well. I'm going to start off with yesterday's recap. I will start off by saying there was 3 games yesterday, and 2 of those games ended up being blowouts. So there wasn't a lot of value to go around yesterday overall. So unless you had Steph Curry, DeJounte Murray, Rudy Gobert, Bojan Bogdanovic, Paul George, there really wasn't much out there. Bruce Brown was in there too, but there was not a lot of guys that paid off overall in terms of their price tag. So those were probably about the 5. Zubac was okay, but there's a couple guys in there that were okay, but a lot of guys just flopped yesterday due to the blowouts and the natures of those games overall. So we're going to start off on the DraftKings side. We had Eric Bledsoe, $5,200, looking for 26 points out of him. He got to 23. He was a miss. But in retrospect, compared to the rest of the guys on the slate, probably not that bad of a miss. Then Devin Vassell, $4,700, looking for about 23, 24 points out of him. He's been playing rather well lately. Been playing about 30 minutes a game up until yesterday. And then yesterday he played 19 minutes. 1 for 4 shooting, ended up with 7.25 points, so he was a miss. Nick Batum, $5,000, looking for 25 points out of him. Got to 4.25. He is a miss. He only ended up playing 14 minutes in this game. I have not been able to dig up anything in terms of news. I believe he must have got injured or something because it's just weird. It doesn't really make sense why he would play 14 minutes overall. And then at power forward, we had Tobias Harris, $8,500, looking for about 42, 43 points out of him. He got to 29. He was a miss. Very popular play yesterday. They got blown out of the water. He didn't even play the fourth quarter, so 27 minutes blowout. Not much you can do there in that case. It's just unfortunate overall. Then Tobias Harris, $5,300, looking for about 26, 27 points out of him. He got to 25, so he was a miss. He only played 24 minutes. I was projecting him closer to 26 minutes. If he gets that 26 minutes, probably an extra couple points there, and that would have had him pay off for his price tag. So he missed, but not a complete terrible play overall on the day. Then on the FanDuel side, we got Patty Mills, 19.4. He was a miss, but he was a just miss as we were looking for 20 points out of him. Paul George, one of the few hits on the day overall and for myself. $10,000, 50.8 points, so he is a hit. Tobias Harris, once again, $7,700. You're looking for about 38, 39 points out of him. He got to 30.3 on the FanDuel side, so he's a miss. Once again, 27 minutes, blowout, didn't play the fourth quarter. Not too much else you can say there. Blake Griffin, also a miss at $3,900, looking for about 19, 20 points out of him. He got to 10.9. He only played 23 minutes, had him projected for a couple more minutes, only 0 for 4 shooting from the field. Just not a good day for him overall. And then last but not least, Thaddeus Young, once again, $5,900. 29, 30 points, what we're looking for out of him, 25.3. He was a miss. Same kind of reasons we talked about on the DraftKings side, but probably not one of the worst plays overall in the day compared to some of these other guys on the slate. But with that being said, that's enough for yesterday. Talking about a miserable, miserable day for DFS in general, based on those 2 blowouts out of the 3 games. And even that third game, it still really wasn't super, super close either. But we'll get moved over to the injuries and play for tonight's slate. So this is a regular 7 p.m. start time. There's 11 games tonight once again, so a very, very full slate. Obviously, NBA keeps going back and forth. 3 games, 11 games. Thank you, TNT and all that stuff, but I think we'll probably have a smaller slate tomorrow as well. But for today's slate, we got the Pacers and the Pistons to start off with. Jackson and Warren are both still out for the Pacers. Duarte is questionable. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. Kelly Olynyk still out for the Pistons. Livers is listed as a game-time decision, but he's not really in the rotation either way. Washington Wizards do get Bradley Beal back today. I believe it was his grandmother that passed away, so thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. Davis Bertans, Thomas Bryant, and Rui Hachimura are all still out, so no major changes there outside of Bradley Beal coming back. For the Hornets, P.J. Washington's out once again. Gordon Hayward is a game-time decision, but expected to play. We have the Boston Celtics, who are without Jaylen Brown once again, and then Robert Williams and Broderick Thomas are both questionable to play. Obviously, Robert Williams is the big one that we're going to be watching there. For the Atlanta Hawks, Hunter and Okongwu are out once again. Kevin Huerter and Bogdan Bogdanovic are both questionable to play. Moving down to the New Orleans Pelicans, there's Zion Williamson out once again, so no changes there. For the Miami Heat, Morris and Oladipo are out once again. Then we have Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Dedmon, and Marcus Garrett. All this is questionable. So there's going to be a lot of news coming out from this game, a lot that we're watching. And since it is that 7:30 start time, it's still going to be early enough in the night that hopefully we get some of this news early. And if there's some value coming out, we'll be able to play it. Then we move down to the Lakers and the Bucks. And the Lakers just without Reeves, Nunn, LeBron James, and Trevor Ariza once again. Anthony Davis is probable as he's been the last few games. Then for the Milwaukee Bucks, Brook Lopez, Dante DiVincenzo both still out. George Hill and Chris Middleton are both listed as game time decisions, but both expected to play. So this is the return of Chris Middleton back from his little COVID stint. We'll see how many minutes he plays today. Definitely going to shake up the rotation a little bit, kind of kill some of that value overall on the Bucks team. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, probably one of the bigger value spots today, assuming they don't get blown out of the water by Brooklyn, which is a pretty good chance, honestly. But Lamar Stevens, Colin Sexton, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, and Jared Allen are all out in this game. Looks like Kevin Love should be back from his COVID stint. We'll see how many minutes he plays. He was only playing about 21 minutes per game before that, so maybe his minutes are still capped around that 20-minute mark or so. We'll just have to see. Maybe he's not back at all today, and then that opens up a whole nother can of worms that we'll probably have to talk about later on in the day. For the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris are both out once again. Paul Millsap and Nick Claxton are both listed as questionable to play today. Millsap's been out for a couple games for personal reasons, and then Nick Claxton's been dealing with that illness, so even if he's back, he's probably not going to be playing a ton of minutes. Probably going to have to work on his conditioning a little bit. For the Orlando Magic, missing the same four guys, and Michael Carter-Williams, Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, and Etuan Moore. And then Jalen Suggs is questionable to play, but probably going to end up playing once again. The New York Knicks are without Nerlens Noel once again. For the Sacramento Kings, they are all the way healthy. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, Josh Okogie and Naz Reid are both questionable to play at this point in time. Just valuable role players, but probably not guys you're getting too often in DFS anyways. For the Rockets, John Wall's out once again, and then Kevin Porter Jr. listed as questionable, but he's been banged up the last couple games and kind of playing through it anyways, so I would expect him to play. Oklahoma City Thunder are all the way healthy at this point in time. The Dallas Mavericks are going to be without Luka Doncic, so that's a big one right there, and then Maxi Kleber. So probably getting Jalen Brunson in that starting lineup at the point guard position. Should be a little bit of value on this team overall tonight, even though Jalen Brunson is priced up a little bit more on the FanDuel side tonight. For the Phoenix Suns, they are without Dario Saric, and then Frank Kaminsky is questionable to play. Probably doesn't factor in quite as much now with DeAndre Ayton being back anyways, though. Then last but not least, we get down to the Chicago Bulls and the Portland Trail Blazers. So the Bulls are without Nikolai Vucevic and Patrick Williams once again. Javonte Green is questionable to play. Alex Caruso, game time decision, but expected to play. For the Portland Trail Blazers, Norman Powell and Damian Lillard are both questionable, but both have played in recent games. So I would assume that they play once again tonight. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries for tonight's slate. Once again, it's 11-game slate, so a very large slate overall. There should definitely be some value opening up throughout the day, though. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off with the point guard position. I got Darius Garland, $6,500. We're looking for about 33 points out of him. Very, very depleted Cleveland Cavaliers team. He's going to be one of the main point scorers for him. Obviously, one of the main ball handlers as well. And I currently have him projected for about 38 points. If this game remains close at all, he's going to have a very, very good game and be a very valuable piece for DFS tonight. Then at shooting guard, we got his teammate Cedi Osman. He is $4,000, looking for 20 points out of him, averaging about 19 on the season. He's been playing more minutes as of late. They got less pieces on this team now, so he's going to have to be involved. He's going to be one of the main guys for this team overall. Got him projected for about 25 points tonight. Then at small forward position, we got Talen Horton-Tucker. He's $4,800, looking for 24 points out of him. He obviously came off that monster game where he was like 14 times value on DraftKings, which is just flat out ridiculous. But he's been in that starting lineup. He's playing big minutes. The Lakers, he's been playing well too since he's come back from his injury, so there's no complaints here. I got him projected for about 27, 28 points tonight. Definitely looking like a solid value overall. Then at the power forward position, went and switched it up just a little bit. Have a value play here in Larry Nance, $3,200, looking for about 16 points out of him. That's about what he's averaging on the season. He's been playing a lot in these small ball center lineups, which you're probably going to see against the Chicago Bulls tonight. So definitely a chance that he gets 19, 20 points in this game. Definitely helps out your team and saves you a little bit of money overall. Then last but not least, at that center position, we got DeAndre Ayton, $6,200. Pretty cheap price tag for him overall. He returned last game, played 33 minutes, so I don't have any concerns about minutes limitation for him once again. It's not like they're playing on a back-to-back or anything else like that. Looking for about 3,100 points out of him. Averaging about 35 on the season. I got him projected for about 33, 34 points tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these five players on the DraftKings side, you have $25,300 remaining, just over $8,400 per player. So definitely a little bit of room flexibility if you want to pay up for a stud player. If you want to pay up for a couple of good players and then find a value play as well, you can definitely do that, or you can do a little bit more balanced approach. Definitely a lot of ways you can approach it. And as more value comes out throughout the day, probably going to be a lot of different ways that we can mix and match and build some different lineups, especially given the 11-game slate tonight. But with that being said, we'll move over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So at the point guard position, went with Darius Garland once again, $6,200, looking for 31 points at him. On the FanDuel side, I am projected for about 35, 36 points. Everything I said on the DraftKings side still applies. Still going to be the main ball handler, the main point scorer for this Cleveland Cavaliers team that is very, very depleted at this point in time. As long as they're not getting blown out, he's going to pay off for his price tag. Then at the shooting guard position, we're going with Talen Horton-Tucker once again, $5,200. Looking for about 26 points. I haven't got projected for about 27 points tonight. Definitely has a little bit upside for more, though, as he's playing big minutes once again. Then at the small forward position, I got Cedi Osman. He was on the DraftKings side as well. He's $4,600, looking for 23 points out of him, averaging about 18 on the FanDuel side this season. I got him projected for about 24, 25 points tonight. Definitely has a little bit upside for more, depending on the nature of this game. Then we're moving down to power forward. I'm going right back to Isaiah Stewart once again today. I believe his price tag even dropped a little bit, $5,100. You're looking for about 25, 26 points out of him. Got him projected for about 27, 28 once again tonight. Probably going to have to play big minutes against the front court of the Indiana Pacers and Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner. Last but not least, at the center position, we got Metu. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name, but he's been starting for the Kings recently. $4,100, looking for about 20, 21 points out of him. I got him projected for 20, 23 points in this game tonight. Ever since he's been starting, he's been playing rather well. It's kind of funny because Isaiah Stewart's the center and Metu is kind of power forward, so they're flip-flopped on FanDuel for whatever reason. Maybe FanDuel can get that fixed one day, but definitely two guys that I like to have some upside tonight. And then Metu going against the Timberwolves. It should be a matchup that he's out there on the court more times than not, favorable for his minutes overall. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you have $34,800 remaining, $8,700 per player. So if you want to do a balance build, you can get a lot of good players in there. If you want to pay up for some studs and find some values, you can definitely do that as well. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, November 17th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, especially regarding tonight's slate, definitely be sure to leave them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. I'll also be listing all the injury updates and starting lineups down in the comments as well, so definitely be sure you're checking out on that throughout the day. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, a special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.